Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pooja at A Book by the Window. I hope you guys are doing good. If you're new to the channel, I do book related videos here, book reviews, book list, what I'm reading, what I'm liking, what is the latest thing on the radar, etc, etc. And if you want to know a bit more about myself, what I do professionally and what has been my journey like, is a 30-year-old now in California and coming from a very small city in India. I have another channel. I will link it in the description box below. You can check it out. I also talk about running, mental health and traveling there. So if you are interested in that kind of stuff, consider giving me a follow. Today I'm going to talk about the first book of 2024 that I have finished. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. As some of you might already know, this is a very popular book. It has been going rounds on social media, Goodreads, YouTube, BookTube if you're on there, for as long as I remember seeing the cover. And of course a title like this would pique people's interest, so I was also very interested. I got this book from my library after a very long wait of a few months, but when I did, I made sure I finished through it, and for all the right reasons. Now, talking about the plot of the book is a memoir. It's a non-fiction by the author Jennette McCurdy. Most of us from India would not know about her because we were not very exposed to American television, at least that I remember, but she was a very popular star of a kids show Nickelodeon by the name of iCarly. So she played the main character there, and that's how she got popular. Now, popular people already piques a lot of interest in the society. We want to know more about celebrities and we want to know what their life was growing up, where they came from. But unfortunately, Jennette's life was really hard to begin with. She had her moments with her mom, and as a young kid also trying to make it big in the Hollywood industry, there were things that she is not proud of that she was exposed to, and she was made to do against her own will as a kid because she was not a consenting adult back then. And at the end, the whole weight of the financial situation of the family fell to her, so she developed some habit. Particularly, she talks about her eating disorder in the book, and how she always had a negative self-image, her self-worth was really bad, and all of this she attributed to a troubled upbringing from her mother. Before getting into more detail, I would like to talk about the writing of the book, what kind of prose one can expect while trying to read the book. It is a very simple to read book. It's not written in over-the-top, floozy expressions, metaphors. It's as simple as it can get. It has a straightforward prose. Only thing is, Jennette, the author, she talks about herself in past tense a lot. Everything as a protagonist, she talks about everything in past tense, where she's addressing herself as a younger self, and you see glimpse of her life through her words in a very straightforward way, and anyone can read it in my humble opinion. I will start by talking about the highlights of the book for me. I definitely found myself connecting with the author in the sense that toxic relationships can mar your mental health. I cannot relate entirely to the fact that she was so popular and she was getting so much money and she was very pressurized, but I can relate to the fact that sometimes when your environment is not right, especially as kids, impressionable kids, right? Whatever you are given, you take it upon yourself to imbibe it all the more. And when that happens, it gets very hard for you to get out of those patterns, and it could actually mean years of therapy before you can even think of breaking the patterns and trying to live your true life, a life that actually brings joy to you. So I could really relate to the author, and I was actually shocked to read some of the things. Kudos to the author for bringing her story out without the fear of judgment, and I am pretty sure if there is someone out there going through a tough life because of similar situations, they can relate and they can find solace in her story, and also find a way to get to the light at the end of the tunnel, if that makes some sense. Moving from the highlight, I would also like to talk about the lowlights for me. There was just this one particular feedback that I have for this story is we do see explicit accounts of incidents from her life as a kid. All of these small incidents added up to her having an eating disorder and a negative self-worth, but I would also have liked to see how she grew out of them and how she thinks of them now. Just in general, a little bit of a talk about optimism that she sees in her life now, even though her story to begin with was somewhat very hard to read and to live, I'm pretty sure. Another low light for me was that, and a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but I felt the title of the book was a bit sensationalized. I do understand that it suggests that she was actually very happy when her mother was no more in this world, but in reality it was just a story about a little girl trying to find a relationship with her mother who she thought loved her all her life, but in hindsight she wasn't even treated as a respected adult by her, and also if she would say no, she would get into abusive fights with her, which is very, very toxic for a kid to grow up with. Very controlling, and it is just a struggle, and I understand anyone going through the same thing would feel the same. So I'm not sure this was very clickbaity. To me it felt a bit clickbaity. We're on to the final verdict. I would definitely recommend you read this book. I would give this 4.5 just because I had my tryst with this book towards the end. But I would say I'm really happy this was the first book that I finished in 2024, and I'm definitely looking forward to read more of her accounts. I found myself finding out more about the author, her TV shows, and what is she doing right now. So that is definitely a win for a book. And I love reading memoirs. I'm not particularly very big on non-fiction books, but I do love reading people's story, and this one got me hooked. If I did not know this is a piece of non-fiction, I would have been half convinced that this is a piece of fiction. So books like these, which has such a lasting impact on you, definitely are worth reading. And if by chance you pick this up on my recommendation, do let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. I do book related videos like this on this channel. They come out every Thursday. So if you would like more of these videos, consider subscribing to the channel. If you like this video, please like it, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.